So in the last class, we was discussing about fundamentals of electronics device. Today, in today class also, we will discuss the fundamentals only, but related to your chemistry as well as the physics concepts. Okay. So in that, the first topic, Bohr-Bury rule of electronic configuration. Before entering to this particular concept, you people can share what are the concept you already aware or already studied in your physics or chemistry about this particular topic. And most of the information I have already covered in this particular slides only. If you see the slides, you can tell the informations or you can recollect the informations what you have studied in the previous semesters.
Electrons will have a different shells and subshells, and each will have a different number of electrons. And the periodic variations of an electron, it depends on the number of electrons is there, and the properties also depends on the size of electron.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one, the first rule, the Bohr-Bury rule, the maximum number of electron present in a shell is given by the formula. It will be decided by the formula. That is, the general formula is 2n square, where n is the shell number. 2n square, n is the shell number. The maximum number of electron that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit is 8. Have you people heard about the octet rule?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what it says? As per the octet rule, what it says? You can take any atom, silicon or germanium, aluminum, gold, whatever it may be. It consisting of number of subshells, right? The outermost shell we have called as an valence shell or outermost shell. If the outermost shell consisting of an 8 electron, it will be satisfy the octet rule, or that shell we called as an stabilized or stability, correct? So in some of the atoms consisting of an only few electron, few in a sense less than 8 electron. Let us take germanium as well as the silicon. How many electrons are present in the outermost shell or in the valence shell?
4.
Yeah,
3.
four electrons. You can take the silicon or you can take the germanium. In the outermost shell, it consisting of an the outermost shell consisting of an 4 electrons. As per the octet rule, that valency shell is stabilized or not?
No, sir. No stabilized.
No, because of for stability of an that particular orbit, it should consisting of an 8 electrons. If consisting of an less than 8, that kind of an orbit we count as an instability. Okay, for satisfying the octet rule, that particular shell consisting of an 8 electron. Okay, that is the second rule. The third rule, electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless the inner shells are filled. For example, you can take the silicon as well as the germanium. The silicon atom consisting of how many electrons in the nucleus? How many protons in the nucleus? If it is a silicon atom or if it is a germanium atom, how many protons it consisting in the nucleus?
14.
14 silicon or germanium?
Silicon.
Silicon. Yeah, exactly. Correct. So that 14 electron, it will be arranged in this fashion. The first orbit consisting of an 2 electron, the second orbit consisting of an 8 electron, the outermost shell consisting of an 4 electron. You can go for the germanium, the totally it will be 32 protons in its nucleus. That 32 protons, it will be arranged in this fashion. The first orbit consisting of an 2, the second orbit consisting of an 8, the third orbit consisting of an 18, and once again the fourth orbit consisting of an 4. Okay, if in the silicon, the outermost shell number is third. If it is in the germanium, the outermost shell number will be the 4. But both the atom consisting of an only 4 valence electron in the outermost shell. As per the octet rule, the silicon as well as germanium, both atom it not satisfying the octet rule. I means it will be the unstability. That particular valency shell it will be the unstable. Okay, for satisfying or for it become into an stable state, it should consisting of an 8 electron. Correct. So that information it will be gives your third rule. At the same time, now you can check the energy levels. Just check it out. This is the first. Can you see the arrow mark? I mean, mouse arrow mark. Able to follow the mouse arrow
Yes.
mark in your slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just check it out. This is the first orbit. This is the second orbit. This is the third orbit. This is the fourth orbit. Okay. So that I have represented as first energy level, second energy level, third energy level, and fourth energy level. Out of these 4 energy levels, which level consisting of an more energy and which level consisting of an less energy? First energy level, second energy level, third energy level, fourth energy level. Out of these 4 energy levels, which energy level consisting of an very high energy, electron energy?
Sir, first one, sir.
First orbit.
First.
Fourth
Okay,
orbit.
first orbit and fourth orbit. Okay. I will give the clarity here. Just check it out. This is the first orbit. This is the second orbit. This is the third orbit, and this is the fourth orbit. What are the electrons are present in the first orbit? It's very closely or strongly bounded to the nucleus. Okay. The same way, the second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit. Compared to the first orbit and fourth orbit, the fourth orbit little loosely bounded compared to the first orbit. If you put some little small additional energy to the fourth orbit, that particular valency electron easily coming out of the valency shell. Hence, out of this 4 energy level, the first orbit consisting of an less energy, strong, very high and loosely bounded. What are the electrons are present in the valence shell? Loosely bounded compared to the first orbit. But compared to the energy level, the first orbit consisting of what are the electron is present in the first orbit? It consisting of an lesser energy compared to the second orbit. Compared to the third orbit, the second and first orbit consisting of an less energy. Compared to the fourth orbit, the third, second, and first orbit. What are the electron? It consisting of energy. It consisting of an very less energy. It is clear. The first orbit electron very closely bounded to the nucleus compared to the fourth orbit. Once coming to the energy levels, the first orbit electron consisting of a very smaller energy compared to the what are the electron present in the outermost shell. Because of those electron, it will be loosely bounded from the nucleus. Hence it consisting of a little higher energy compared to the electron present in the first orbit. It is clear. The first orbit, the same time, the first orbit we can call it as an K shell. The second orbit we can call it as an L shell. The third orbit we can call it as an M shell. The outermost shell we can call it as an N shell, or simply you can call it as an K shell, L shell, M shell, and N shell. It is clear. Okay. So here the first point is what are the electron present in the first orbit? It is very closely bounded or strongly bounded to the nucleus, and energy level is very small. Okay. And compared to the fourth orbit, the electrons, what are the electron? It will be present in the outermost shell. It will be loosely bounded from the nucleus, but it consisting of an very high energy compared to the first orbit. It is clear? It is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. These are all the 3 Bohr-Bury rules. Okay. Based on these 3 rules, now we will see the electronic configuration for some atoms. Okay. So now just check it out. Some of the examples. For helium, the total electrons are 2. For neon, total electrons are 10. Argon, the total electrons are 18. Okay, the same way, some of the different atom consisting of different numbers of electrons in its nucleus. Okay, so now we will see what are the rules we have to follow for writing the electronic configuration for some of the atoms. What are the rules we have to follow? Let us take the first orbit consisting of an how many subshell, the second orbit consisting of an how many subshell, the third orbit consisting of an how many subshell, and fourth orbit consisting of an how many subshells. Anyone? Before showing to that particular slide, anyone, will you tell me the number of shells present in the individual orbit, first, second, third, and fourth? Hello, I am audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you tell me? Yeah,
2, 8, 18, 32.
that is electron, maximum number of electron accommodated to that particular orbit, what you are telling. First orbit, maximum number of electron accommodation is 2. Second orbit is 8. The third orbit is 10. The fourth orbit is 14. What you are telling? Correct. But my question is, how many subshells are there in the individual orbit? Let us take the orbit number we are referred as an n, right? N is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4. Correct. If you know the which number of an orbit, easily we can calculate it how many electrons we can accommodate it in that particular orbit with the help of that general formula what I have showed in the first slide, right? Correct. 2n square. Using 2n square. Let us take n will be equal to 1. N will be equal to 1 means what? It is the first orbit. N is equal to 1. What are the maximum number of an electron we can accommodate it in the first orbit? N will be equal to 1. 1 square. It will be, once again, it will be become 1. 1 into 2, it will be equal to 2. Maximum 2 electron we can accommodate it in the first orbit. The same way, coming to the second orbit. Second orbit, n will be equal to 2. 2 to the power of 2, it will be equal to 4. 4 into 2, it will be equal to 8. Maximum number of electron accommodated to the second orbit, it will be equal to 8. The same way, coming to n is equal to 3. N is equal to 3 means what? Third orbit. N is equal to 3, 3 square. 3 square means what? It will be 9. 3 into 3, it will be 9. 9 into 2, it will be 18. Correct? Maximum number of an electron accommodated in the third orbit, it will be equal to 18. The same way, n is equal to 4. N is equal to 4, 4 square. 4 square means what? 4 into 4, it will be 16. 16 into 2, it will be 32. Maximum 32 electron we can accommodate it in the outermost shell, means in the fourth orbit. Correct? But my question is, how many subshells are there in the first orbit? How many subshells are present in the second orbit? How many subshells are there in the third orbit? And how many subshells are there in the fourth orbit? The same way, already we have represented the first orbit consisting of 2 electrons, second orbit consisting of an maximum 8 electron, the third orbit consisting of maximum 18 electron, the fourth orbit maximum electron accommodation is 32. Now, my first question, how many subshell? The second question is, that particular subshell, what is the maximum number of electron can accommodated in that subshells? Anyone?
Sir, SPD.
Yes? P?
Yes. T.
Yes, P, D, F.
F.
Yes?
SPD.
Yeah. Yes, P, D, F. Okay, idu okay. My question is, the first orbit consisting of how many subshell? First, give me the answer for my first question.
One subshell.
One, sir.
Yeah, exactly. How many subshells will be present in the second orbit?
2.
Three subshells.
Two.
Three
Third,
subshells.
second orbit consisting of an 2 subshell. Third orbit
Yes.
consisting of an 3 subshell. The fourth orbit consisting of an 4 subshell. Okay, that only we have represented as S, P, D, F. Okay, so now can you tell me the S orbit, S suborbit consisting of maximum of how many electron?
2 electrons.
1 electron.
2 electrons. 2, sir.
2. Yeah, minimum I am not asking, maximum I am asking. How many
2.
electrons? Yes, exactly. It is
2 electrons.
2 electron. Next, after the S, it will be P, right? P subshell. P
Six
subshell consisting of maximum electron? It's 6. Yeah. D subshell consisting of how many maximum electron?
10.
10. Exactly. The last one, D, sorry, F. F subshell consisting of how many electrons?
14.
14.
14. Exactly, you are right. Now just cross check. I mean, what are the values we are already represented in the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit. As per you, the first orbit consisting of only one subshell. That subshell consisting of maximum number of an electron accommodation is 2. It satisfies this rule, first orbit rule. Yes. The second orbit consisting of an two subshell. One is S, the second one is the P. S subshell and P subshell. S subshell maximum number of an electron accommodation is 2. P subshell maximum number of electron accommodation is 6. 6 plus 2, it is 8. It is satisfied? The same way, the third orbit consisting of an three subshell S, P, D. S subshell 2, P subshell 6, D subshell 10. It is clear? 10 plus 6, it is 16. 16 plus 2, it is 18. Once again, even this rule also, it will be satisfied. And finally, coming to the last orbit, the last orbit means n is equal to 4. It is a 4 subshells are there. S, P, D, F. S will be equal to 2. P will be equal to 6. D will be equal to 10. F will be equal to 14. Now just count these four numbers. 14 plus 10, how much? 14 plus 10, it will be 24. 24 plus 6, it will be 30. 30 plus 2, it will be 32. The maximum number of an electron accommodated in the fourth orbit, it will be equal to 32. That 32 electron, it will be arranged in this fashion. The first subshell consisting of 2, the second subshell consisting of 6, the third subshell consisting of an 10, the fourth subshell consisting of an 14. It is clear in such a way that your electron, it will be distributed in the orbit. Okay, any doubt here?
No, sir.
Yeah, the same information only we have represented here. Just check it out once you go through this neon. Okay, so the electronic configuration of a neon, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, aluminum the same way, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. Okay, the same way. Now just check it out. How we have calculated the maximum number of electron present in that particular orbit. N is equal to 1. N is equal to 1 means what? First orbit. What is the name of the first orbit? That the first orbit we can call it as an K shell, right? The K shell consisting of a maximum number of how many electron? 2 into 1 square means n square here. N will be equal to 1. 2 into 1 square, it will be 2. 2 into 2 square, it will be 8. 2 into 3 square, it will be 18. 2 into 4 square, it will be 32. Okay, so now we will see the picture of the subshells. When n will be equal to 1, it consisting of an only one subshell, that what we called as an S. N will be equal to 2, it consisting of an two subshell, that we called as an S as well as P. N will be equal to 3, it consisting of an three subshells, S, P, D. N will be equal to 4, it consisting of an four subshells, S, P, D, F. It is clear? Okay, the same information I have written in the text form. Once you go through that, the subshell into which electron are distributed are based on the azimuthal quantum number. It is denoted by capital I. This quantum number is depends on the value of the principal quantum number n. Therefore, when n has a value of 4, 4 different subshells are possible. When n will be equal to 4, the subshells corresponds to I will be equal to 0, I will be equal to 1, I will be equal to 2, and I will be equal to 3 are named as S, P, D, and F subshells respectively. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated by a subshell is given by the general formula 2 into 2i plus 1. I stand for this number, azimuthal number. Okay, so if you go, you can remember this formula easily. You can calculate what is the maximum number of an electron present in the S subshell, P subshell, D subshell, and F subshell. Okay, so therefore the S, P, D, and F subshells are accommodated a maximum of 2, 6, 10, and 14 electrons respectively. 14 electrons respectively. Okay, so any doubt in this? Any doubt in the electronic configuration using Bohr and Bury model?
No, sir.
Okay. So my next question is, let us take uh, let us take some random number. I am not taken some proper value or some random number. I am going to take. Okay. So now, as per your third rule, what your third rule says, Bohr-Bury model, electron are not accommodated in a given shell unless the inner shell are filled. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless the inner shells are filled.
3s cannot be filled without filling 2p.
Exactly. Now just take this example for an neon, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay. So what are the how many electrons are there in its nucleus for the neon? 6 plus 2 it's 8, 8 plus 2 it is 10. I am correct? I am correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, instead of an 10, let us take just for an example, just for an understanding purpose, neon, it consisting of an 11 electron. Neon consisting of an 11 electron. How we are going to write the electronic configuration for neon will be equal to 11? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1, right? I am correct?
Yes, sir.
Totally neon consisting of an 10 electron in its nucleus. There is no wrong in that. Just for understanding purpose, let us assume neon consisting of an totally 11 electrons. That 11 electrons, it will be arranged in this fashion. Yav 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. But instead of writing 3s1, what I am going to do, just I will do a little bit modification. 1s2, 2s2, 2p5, 3s2. This way of writing the electronic configuration for some atom, it is correct. 1s2,
No, sir.
2s2, 2p5, 3s2 I am going to write. Why it is not
No,
correct?
sir.
Why it is wrong?
Because p shell is not filled completely.
Exactly, because of P subshell is not completely filled. Once the P subshell should fill, then only you can go for the higher subshells. Okay, so the maximum number of an electron accommodated in the P subshell is 6. So you have an electron, you can fill first P subshell, then you can move to the next orbit, 3s orbit. Okay, this is the this information you can see in the third rule. Okay, the second rule, once again, the outermost shell, you can go for the any atom with any number of electron present in its nucleus. The outermost shell, it should be must and should, it should be consisting of an only 8 electron, while I am going to write, now just check it out, while I am going to write some of the electronic configuration of some atoms. Okay, for example, let us take krypton. Totally how many electrons are there for krypton? Can you count? Totally 36, right?
36.
Yeah, totally 36. Okay. Let us take, just for our understanding purpose, what I am going to do, just remove this 8 in the last. Just remove this 8 in the last. The total electron present in its nucleus, it will be 28. It will be 28. Just for understanding purpose, I am taken. Just I am going to alter this examples only. Okay. So while writing the electronic configuration, what I am going to do, as usual, 2, 8, 18. Because of the first orbit consisting of N2, second orbit consisting of maximum electron is 8. The third orbit consisting of maximum number of electrons are 18. Maximum number of electrons are 18. In this situation, while writing the electronic configuration, I can't write it as an 18 because of, as per the second rule of Bohr and Bury, the outermost layer, it should be consisting of an maximum of only 8 electron, not more than that. Not more than that. In that situation, what I am going to do, I am going to split once again. I am going to split once again with the help of and some of the subshells. Some of the subshells. So here, one thing you keep in your mind, the total number of electron present in some particular orbit, it will be decided by this formula 2n square. This is very important. The second rule, some atom consisting of a number of an orbit, you don't bother about how many number of an orbits are there, how many number of electrons are there in its nucleus. You don't worry about that, but you should aware that the maximum number of an electron accommodated in the valence shell or outermost shell, it should be equal to 8 or less. If it is less, there is no problem, but it can't cross the number 8. It can't cross the number 8. This is the second rule. The third rule, once you fill the previous subshell, then only you can go for the higher subshells. Correct? If it is not filled the subshell, the lower subshell, you can't move to the higher subshell. These three rules you keep in your mind for analyzing the any atom, for writing the any electronic configuration of an any atom. Okay, so this is all about, it will be give the information about Bohr-Bury rules. Okay, so next we will move to the next one, Pauli exclusion principle. You people have any idea about this rule, Pauli exclusion principle? Anyone can summarize what Pauli exclusion principle says? Already answer is displayed in your screen. You can go through that. You can recollect the information what you have studied and tell me. Yeah, tell me, Pa.
Sir, in calcium, why is 3 means 4s filled before 3d?
Where?
Sir, in calcium, in one of the examples you
What I
showed.
have shown in the screen. Okay.
Sir, in there, the electron configuration was 3p6 and 4s2. Why did 3d shell not fill before 4s?
Okay, yeah, I understand your question. Okay, the first orbit consisting of how many subshells?
One.
So hence I have written 1s2. Second orbit consisting of how many subshell?
2.
2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, this is 2s2 and 2p6. The third orbit consisting of how many subshell?
3 subshells.
Yeah, 3 subshell. One is S, the another one is P, the last one is the D subshell, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that have arranged in this fashion: 3s2, 3p6. Okay. Oh, okay. Your question is you can use the 3D something like
Yes, sir.
3D2. Then you can go for the 4s2 something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it have some particular reason for crossing this one. I will verify once and I will get back to you in the next class. This is particularly about the Cashium electronic configuration.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Now tell me what is the what your Pauli exclusion principle says. What information you can get from the Pauli exclusion principle?
So no two electrons in an atom can have same set of all 4 quantum numbers, sir.
Yeah. Can you
Like
tell me what are those 4 quantum numbers?
N, L, M, and S spin.
Yeah, exactly. N, L, ML, and MS. And in some of the textbook, they are represented with different notation. No problem. What is N stand for?
N stands for number of electrons, I guess.
N stand for energy level.
Okay, yeah.
N stand for energy level. Okay, next L stand for?
L stands for azimuthal quantum number.
Exactly.
I guess.
Angular momentum or azimuthal quantum number. And last one, ML stand for?
M stands for magnetic quantum number.
There are two ML, M are there. One is ML, the another one is MS. There
ML
are two
is,
M are there.
ML is magnetic quantum number, that is from minus L to positive L.
That is MS. Spin. Positive spin or negative spin. Okay, just check it out here. N stand for energy, electron energy. L stand for angular momentum. ML stand for orbital orientation. Orbital orientation. The fourth one is the spin. The fourth one is the spin. Okay, you can take the any atom or you can take the any orbital in particular atom. Okay, this 4 quantum number, out of this 4 quantum number, let us take 3 quantum number, it will be same. Let us take N will be same, I will be same, ML will be same. N will be same, I will be same, and ML will be same. The fourth one, MS, what we called as a spin, MS, it will be in opposite in nature. It will be in opposite in nature. One electron, I mean, the spin of that particular electron we have represented as an plus 1/2 off spin, what we call positive off spin. The another electron we have represented as negative off spin. Positive off spin. The second one is the negative off spin. It is clear? This information we got to know that from the Pauli exclusion principle. It is clear? The statement, the information is clear about the Pauli exclusion principle. What are the 4 electronic quantum numbers are there? N, L, ML, MS. You can take any atom. In that you can take any orbit. You can take any orbit. For example, the first orbit consisting of only 2. The second orbit maximum consisting of 8. The third orbit consisting of maximum 18. The fourth maximum electron consisting of, it will be 32. It is clear, correct? Out of 2, out of 8, out of 18, out of 32, the 3 quantum number, it will be same for the 2 electron. At least the spin will be a different for those. The spin will be the different for those. In such a way that one electron, it will be differ from the another electron within the shell itself. Within the subshell or shell itself. Okay, this information we can get from the Pauli exclusion principle. It is clear, correct? So as per the Pauli exclusion principle, how we can write the electronic configuration, just have diagrammatically I have shown here. Okay, the same way some of the atom electronic configuration for oxygen, total electrons are 8 atom numbers. That atom number, it will be distributed in this manner: K shell 2 electron, L shell 6 electron. That electronic configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. The same way chlorine, totally 7 electrons are there. That 17 electron. That 17 electron, it will be distributed in this fashion: K shell 2 electron, L shell 8 electron, M shell 7 electron. The electronic configuration of the chlorine, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p5. This is the electronic configuration of some of the atoms. Okay, so with using the proper Bohr-Bury rules. Okay, so next we will move to the next statement, atomic number. What is atomic number? What is atomic number? The definition is in front of you. Number of
protons.
Number of protons in its nucleus. Number of protons in its nucleus. Okay, that statement only I have written here. Just read out once. The atomic number, or proton number, that we have represented with the capital Z symbol. Capital Z symbol of a chemical element is the number of protons found in the nucleus. Number of proton found in the nucleus of every atom of that element. Every atom of that element. Okay. The atomic number unequally identify a chemical element. It is identical to the charge number of the nucleus. In an uncharged atom, the atomic number is also equal to the number of electrons. Okay. The sum of the atomic number means Z, and the number of neutrons N, atomic number Z, and number of neutron gives the mass number A. Atomic mass number A, since proton and neutron have approximately the same mass. It is clear? It is clear? Okay. That only I have shown for the one atom, carbon atom. Okay. So the carbon atom atomic number, it will be 12, and atomic mass is also 12. Atomic number and atomic mass both are same. Okay. So next we will move to the next definition, atomic spacing. What is the definition of atomic spacing? I have shown the definition diagrammatically as well as in the text form also I have written here. Can you tell me the definition or meaning of atomic spacing? What is atomic spacing?
The gap between the two atoms.
The distance between the
two atoms or
atoms ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತಗೊಂತೀಯ atom ನ first orbit ಇಂದ ತಗೊಂತೀಯ? Center means what we call for the center. In an atom, nucleus. The center nucleus. Exactly. The distance between the two nucleus. The distance between the two nucleus, that what we called as an atomic spacing. Atomic spacing. Just check it out. Just read out the second point. What it says, this space is extremely large. Means atomic spacing is extremely large compared to the size of the atomic nucleus. Size of the atomic nucleus. That information you can get from the second point. What your third point says? The atomic spacing normally for the solid material in terms of angstrom. What is the value of angstrom? It is in the order of
10 power minus 10.
10 power minus 10 meter. 10 power minus 10 meter. Okay. For low density gases, this distance in terms of meters. Distance in terms of meters. You can extract three information from this slide. The first information, definition of the atomic space. Atomic spacing means the distance between the two nucleus. The distance between the two nuclei, it will give the definition of an atomic spacing. The second paragraph, the distance between means the atomic spacing is larger compared to the nucleus, size of the nucleus. The third paragraph, for the solid material, atomic spacing, that is in terms of an angstrom, means 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. For low density gases, the distance in terms of an meters. Which is higher. 10 to the power of minus 10 is higher than the meter, or meter is higher than the 10 to the power of minus 10. Our atomic spacing in solid material is greater than the atomic spacing in the low density gases. My statement is correct or wrong? True or false?
False, sir.
False, exactly. Because of the distance in low density gases, he is very much higher than the solid material. Because of it is in the order of 10 to the power of minus 10. For low density gases, it is in the order of meters. Meter is greater than the 10 to the power of minus 10 value. Easily you can say that with the help of that value. Okay, so this information you can get from this slide. The next one we will move to the lattice. Lattice means what? What we can extract from this slide. I have shown the 3 type of an lattice examples: cubic, centric, face centered, hexagonal. What information you can get from the slide? Lattice means what normally? Lattice. Can you give me any one real-time example for lattice? Lattice kind of an arrangement. Anyone? If you want, you can go through what are the definition I have written here. Once you go through this definition, then only you can tell the meaning. In generally, you can correlate this information with some real-time examples for better understanding.
Rubik's Cube, sir.
Sorry?
Partially like Rubik's Cube structure.
Cubic structures. Okay, Adina,
Rubik's Cube.
Okay, you can take some live example. Can you correlate this information with any one of the examples?
Like actual or simple, different, relating it to something.
Gate structure, simply we can say called as a gate structure. Gate, normal ohm gate or what we call gate structure. How we are arranging the metal strips for construction of an gate?
The arrangement of books in library.
Exactly. Arrangement of an atom in a systematic manner. That manner it is repeated. That manner it is in repeated or mesh or gate structure. You can take those two for just for better understanding of this meaning of lattice. It is clear? In crystal structure, it is the description of the ordered arrangement of atoms. Ordered arrangement of atoms. That's all. Adu, any form. It may be in the cubic body centered, BCC form, or FCC form, cubic face centered, or hexagonal, or still furthermore different orders, different manners. You can arrange the atoms in any form. That particular shape we called as some name. That name we called as an cubic body centered, cubic face centered, or hexagonal, pentagonal, rectangular, something like that. Okay, this is what we called as an lattice. Okay, so shall we stop it here?
Okay, sir.